Ravneet, we go back 30 years, you know. It's, what shall I say to you? Well, I would like you to come up over here. Ravneet is a wildlifer. He's one of the finest friends you could ever hope to ask for. He's also the CEO of Deutsche Bank. Please, Ravneet, may I ask you to come out and address us?
Thank you, Bittu. Lord Stern, award winners, distinguished guests. As always, delighted to have each one of you here for such a special evening, which the way I look at it is really the nature's Oscar, not just for India, but globally. You know, as a banker in these days, it's so refreshing to stand before a crowd and not talk about demonetization. But having said that, it's helped as well. I mean, earlier, you know, I used to come and stand before such a large audience only once a year at the Sanctuary Awards. Now I just need to go and stand in front of any of my ATMs, and it's a bigger crowd. So I think it just helps to get over stage fright. Bittu talked about a 30 years friendship. I think if there was ever the Energizer Bunny, I think that's Bittu. Over the last 30 years, I think I've just seen his energy levels go up all the time. And Bittu, sometimes I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that every single day you get to kiss at least 150 women.
Oh, Lord.
But you know, much as we talk about our ATMs, all I'd like you to do is picture the fact that, you know, it's not an ATM. It could be a tube well, it could be a well, it could be a tap. And, you know, just like the ATMs have run dry, these taps and these tube wells have run dry as well. I mean, just try and imagine a situation like that, and where nobody has the ability, the power, or the authority to remonetize it. For some reason, when we think in terms, and when we talk about sustainability, there is a certain distance with which we look at sustainability. We think that sustainability is what happens in Marathwada, what happens in Telangana, in parts of Chhattisgarh, etc., but that it doesn't happen here. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, nature and ecology don't recognize geographical boundaries. They don't recognize artificial boundaries. And you know, sooner or later, we'll be directly impacted as well if we aren't already. And when I look around and I see what happened to Delhi some time back, I was surprised that, you know, that did not generate the kind of debate that, for instance, demonetization has. And think about it, that, you know, we can think that Delhi is 1,400 kilometers away and we are safe in Mumbai. The other day I was talking to Praveen, and Praveen mentioned to me that the waters around the coastline of Mumbai have a fecal content which is 3,000 times what it normally should be. So just think about it. So I think these are issues which are very real, which are very immediate. They are not into the future and they're not far removed from us. They're very much a part of our day-to-day lives, the city that we live in, the homes that we stay in. And sometimes I think it's a little disconcerting that, you know, we don't deal with these issues, don't talk about them with the sense of urgency that we effectively need to. So again, I think Bittu, 17 years you've, you know, been a torchbearer around all these issues. And I think the level of awareness that it has created, I still remember the 30 years back when we first met and you know, hearing you talk about things which were so alien at that point in time. I think the awareness levels have gone up significantly. But the point really is that, you know, becoming aware is only part of the process. Think about it. I mean, when we talk about fitness, so we all know that fitness is good for us, but the mere recognition that fitness is good for us doesn't make us fit. You still need to work for it. Right. You know, put in the hard yards, you know, sweat it out. And is India sweating it out, you know, the way it should be to try and get its house in order? And Lord Stern, when he speaks, will tell you about, you know, what the consequences could potentially be. I mean, that his seminal document is known as the Stern Review, not just because it carries his name, but it also carries a very stern message. And for all of us to take a note of. So, but I do feel, Bittu, that with people like you who tirelessly go about this, the wonderful work that so many of our award winners over here are doing, you know, will be a huge inspiration for many of our people. When we talk about our demographic dividend, I think one of the big things about demographic dividend is the fact that we have so many young people. And many of these lifestyle changes that we need have so much to do with mindset. And we just believe that, you know, as India gets younger, I think that mindset is more flexible, it'll change a lot faster. and we will be able to rein things in, get our house back in order before it is too late. All that I'll end with is a quote that I read some time back, and they said that the single biggest threat to our planet is the belief that somebody else will save it.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, you and I have to save it, so let's not waste any further time. Thank you very much.